Hello, hello, hello. This is interesting. This is the first time I've ever scheduled a Facebook Live. So I've got all kinds of things coming across my screen here. And it looks as if I'm live. If anybody's on and watching me, make sure you say hello. I need to know if anybody's there. I don't expect a lot of people to show up, because I'm sure people are doing something fun and exciting today. We have plans later on to go to a barbecue. And hey, Jordan. Hey, Alan. How are you? I will call you when I'm done. I had to pick my older son up. He had went to a sleepover with one of his ice hockey at one of his ice hockey friends' house last night, and called me just as I was finishing cleaning up and getting in the shower. So I'm a little off of my time. Anywho, oh, goodness gracious. I haven't done one of these in a while. And this is the first time I'm using BeLive, BeLive.tv. So if you're somebody who does Facebook Lives, I highly recommend you checking it out. It's free, and there's two components to it. Actually, three main components to it. The first one is you can do a Q&A session where, people can ask you questions, and I'm pretty sure that folks, like you all can write questions and it'll pop up in my screen. I took my glasses off, so there's not much I can that I can see at this moment in time in writing. But anyway, you can also do a two-way Facebook Live. So I'm going to be rolling out doing some interviews, and I'm still working to figure out whether I'm going to do it as a Facebook Live or I'm going to do it as a YouTube video. And I'm sure somebody probably would be like, oh, we'll do it as a Facebook Live. You can save it. I'm just not familiar with BeLive.tv yet to say whether or not that's a good platform. And then the third thing is what I did this morning, which is schedule for the Facebook Live. So to let people know, hey, I am going to, come on, and kind of do it as a notification, and then it sends out a reminder, which is really, 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 really cool, really awesome. So check it out. It's free, 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 free. We love free. And, you can play around with it. And if you want somebody to test it with you, reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to do so. So I know people are here on the East Coast, it's midday. We have a barbecue that we'll be leaving for here shortly after I hop off this live. I'm going to hop on a phone call with Alan, and then we're skedaddling out of here. And we've got another one tomorrow. And I said Monday is our day just to kind of chill at home and not have to go anywhere, not have to worry about doing anything, and simply kind of hang out and relax. Plus, I think Monday's supposed to rain, but who knows? Because the weather people have the greatest job in the world. They get to make six figures and be wrong. Haha, love my weather people. Anyway, so I want to start off with something positive, which if you've followed me in my journey over the past couple of years, you'll know actually as of a couple months ago that we have been looking for a house. My house is under contract. It is a short sale. My house is under contract, and we will have a settlement date probably in the next couple of months. So I had been frantically looking for a place that we could rent, at least for the next couple of years, 2 to 3 years, and then decide whether I'm going to stay in New Jersey or leave the state, because New Jersey, although it has a lot of pluses, there's also a lot of other, phenomenal, fantastic places to live across the country and across the world. So anyway, this week, we ended up finding a house, and it was not in the town that I had originally wanted to be in. However, it is also in a very good town. So if any of my local friends are watching, I know Hope's not on here, but Hope lives in the same town as I do. Florida had 3 days of rain. You know what? We had 3 days. I think we had 4 days of rain. And then the end of last week, not this past week, but the week before, we had a heat wave. We were in the 90s for 3 days straight. So anyway, but if any of my local friends are in the Morristown area or in Morristown, that is where we are going to be living. Not Morristown with an I-S. Morristown with an ES. So Morristown with an I is way up north. Morristown with an E is down here in the southern part of the state, closer to Philadelphia. So that is a good thing. So I wanted to start out with something fun. Now, to kind of make a shift, because I know I had been doing Facebook Lives somewhat regularly, and I tend to get a pretty decent amount of comments and interaction, and I'm pretty much an open book. I don't hold anything back, because things that happen in my life and in my journey in this life are not only happening to me. I know there are a ton of people who are out there going through different things. So why the hell have I been hiding? I said I've been hiding. I feel like I've been like underground. I'll pop onto Facebook. I'll, share like an inspirational post, or I'll put the picture up of Luke of, his pre-K, his pre-K graduation picture and things like that. But really, I've kind of been laying low. And there's a couple different reasons. First of all, before I jump in, let me make a disclaimer here. I am not NOT looking for anybody to send me private messages or comments under here to sell their products or their services. I'm not looking for a get skinny in 30 days program. I am not looking for a powder drink that you mix with water that you drink. I am not looking for a quick shake. I'm not looking for a pill. I'm not looking for those things. So please, I love the network marketing business. I have done it in the past. I continue to do it. I'm a mass user of various products, but that is not what I'm opening my space for right now. And I will share with you, if you hang tight, I'll share with you my journey. So I didn't realize how much weight I had gained since the summer of last year, since May, let's just say May of last year, until I guess probably about 45 days ago. I mean, I knew I had gained weight. And as I was starting to purge, because the house that I'm currently in is a very large house and I'm downsizing into something much smaller, I'm purging all of the stuff, all of the things that I have. And I started to go through my clothes. And I realized that the clothes that fit me in May of last year no longer fit me. Like, I'm a good 1.5 to 2 sizes bigger. And a couple months ago, I had posted that I had been looking for some nicer clothes to wear because of my public speaking, my professional speaking. And I had several speaking and keynote speeches that I was doing that were coming up, and I needed something to wear because my clothes that I wore last year no longer fit me. So I had gone to Torrid and found some cool, funky clothes, which totally make me feel fantastic. So if you're, a size 12 or larger and you're female, definitely go check out Torrid. Maybe I should get like a percentage of something out of this because I'm totally plugging a bunch of people. But anyway, I have tried so many, you too, Tara. I know, it's great. It's great. And you always look good in your pictures. So you'll have to give me some style tips one of these days. But anyway, I have tried all kinds of different products, and I'm going to name the companies because I've got friends, who are on my Facebook, news feed that I'm friends with, who I've bought the products from. And again, they work for certain people. And I'm going to get into why none of them worked for me, or why if they did work, they only worked for a short amount of time. So I haven't been feeling like my sexy beast self lately. And that's been one of the reasons it's been keeping me away from the Facebook Live. Advocare, Plexus, Arbonne, Lavelle Thrive, Isagenix. I'm trying to think of all, Medifast. I even went to a medical weight loss doctor whose program you have to go on, and you're not eating any real food. And by real food, I mean food that you would go to the produce market and get, or to the butcher and get. You are simply drinking shakes or eating bars or having these little snack packs, if you will. And that's all that you did the whole entire time. And sure, yeah, in the first week, I think I lost like 10 pounds. However, I started reading the ingredients of what was in the products, and I couldn't even pronounce 99% of them. I mean, some of the stuff, like with what was added in, was way worse than some of the things that you would find at the grocery store to buy. Yeah, Jordan, Herbalife. I've never tried Herbalife, and I'm not trying anymore because I'll get to, why things haven't worked for me. But, the ingredients were horrible. And I kept asking the doctor, I'm like, is this stuff healthy for you? Again, we're in a society where we think going to doctors, medical doctors are going to give us the answers that we need. And we believe and trust in what they tell us. And what I'm realizing is that is not necessarily the case. So I stopped that program. And I've been following somebody on Facebook for a little while right now. And I reached out to her and I said, hey, tell me a little bit about the stuff that you do. But more importantly, tell me about the mental, emotional component around eating that you do. Because see, here's the thing. Everybody can sit there and say, take this pill, drink this drink, make this shake, take these 5,000 pills, whatever it might be. And they're going to work for a certain percentage of people. Absolutely no doubt about it. They're going to work for a certain percentage of people. Then you're going to find people such as myself who know that it's all in here. Like there's something going on somewhere on a much deeper subconscious level than what any of this stuff is going to help with. And even, I know what I'm supposed to eat. I know I shouldn't eat dairy. I know that I should stay away from gluten. I know I should have lots of fresh fruits and vegetables and the right kinds. I probably should eliminate meat either completely or the majority of the time from my way of eating. I don't like to say diet because the word die is in diet, so I'm not a big fan of that word. I know what I should be doing. I know I should be getting up in the morning and exercising. I know that I should fit in, exercise in the evening if I can't fit it in the morning, yet I wasn't doing it. So I reached out to this woman on Facebook and I don't want to give her a plug yet because I kind of fell off the wagon, but we're going to have a conversation next week to put me back on the wagon, but I fell off the wagon. And I think it's probably because I ended up having surgery and, did some self-sabotage things, that kind of set me back. But I will tell you, what she does is not here you come into my plan, and she's got a 21-day plan and a 4-week, I'll call it like intensive plan. It's not like you come into her plan and she's selling you a specific type of or specific set of products. And again, love Zija's great, Melaleuca's great. There's a lot of really good companies out there, but it goes beyond that. So I didn't realize how many toxins are in our body. And I didn't realize how many toxins are in so many products that we use, even some of these companies that are out there in the network marketing industry. And again, I love the industry, and I think there's some great reputable companies and some amazing people in it. So this isn't a knock. But I reached out to her, and some of the things that we've been going through and that she's been teaching us, I'm like, holy smokes, wow, I had no idea. And I'll share one thing that she has us doing, and that's oil pulling in the morning, like 4 days a week. Where you take coconut oil in its hard form, not in liquid form, in its hard form, solidified form. And you take a tablespoon of it before you even eat or drink anything in the morning, and you put it in your mouth and you swish it around for like 5 to 20 minutes. Now, I have not made it to 20 minutes because literally my mouth and my jaw hurts, and I'm like, okay, come on, like I want to get done. I got to get on my day here. But I've noticed a couple things. First of all, I have much smoother skin, and especially my lips, and my teeth are whiter, just naturally by using the coconut oil and doing the oil pulling. And I know this is kind of gross, but I don't feel like I have any type of foul odor in my mouth, halitosis, especially since it's been allergy season and I've had a little bit of post-nasal drip. So that's just one of the things that I've learned through her program. And again, I'm not going to give her a plug yet. She knows that something is coming, and I will probably do it next week. But I want to have my call with her, but we're diving deep in more of the emotional stuff to clear it up. So my confidence has been kind of crappy, I guess is the best way to put it. When you look in the mirror and you aren't happy with the image that you see because you haven't quite learned how to accept the changes that your body has gone through, it makes it difficult to put yourself in front of the camera. I'm still positive, I'm still happy most of the time, but I didn't love who I was looking at in the mirror reflecting back to me. And that's a big thing. And that affects so many other aspects of who you are and your life and what you can do. So my, The second thing that kept me away from Facebook is I swear I need to come up with like some clever diagnosis for this, because I knew I'm not the only one that does this. I've talked to many of you, and offline, on Facebook Messenger or in person or on the phone or whatever it might be. And I don't know, more than welcome to say whether or not this is, this is something that you do or not, but the comparisonitis, I guess, is what I'm going to, comparisonitis, where you're scrolling through Facebook, and you're like, well, God, she's traveling to Spain and I've never been there. What is she doing? Like, how can she do that? Like, how is she affording to do that? Oh, well, she's over here and she just bought this brand new car and it's a $70,000 car. And well, what am I doing? Oh, well, look at her. She's talking about that she just signed on 5 new clients and received this big paycheck, and she's had her first $50,000 month. And here's the thing, like, cause I had somebody a couple months ago, I left a group messenger on Facebook because it was too noisy, and I need to cut back on the amount of noise in my life. I love social media. It's a tool. However, I will say this until I'm blue in the face, it will never replace personal face-to-face relationships or conversations that you take off of social media. Social media will never replace it. Facebook will never replace it. So anyway, we were having, and I totally lost my train of thought. Holy crap, that is so funny. I'm just saying, going on a roll and then you take off on a tangent. But anyway, I was talking about comparisonitis. And so scrolling through and seeing all these things and all these people doing really well, I'm like, well, what's wrong with me? Like, how come what do I have to offer? How come I'm not doing that? How come I haven't done that? And that is not a good place to go. It is not a good place to go. And I know better than to allow myself to go into that space. But yet for some reason, why is my neck getting all red? Hey, Jordan, thank you. Very true. I know Tara said something, but I can't see it all without my glasses, and I don't want the light to reflect back to y'all. But I know better than to sit there and compare myself to other people. And yet I found myself doing it, and doing it a lot. And do you know that does to our psyche? Like, even if you have the largest amount of control over what's going on in your head and that mind junk that comes out, you still, will kind of feel pummeled down. So I really pulled back on the amount of interaction that I was doing on Facebook as a whole. And, was like, okay, let me do some self-evaluation, because am I jealous? What's going on? I need to figure out why I'm feeling the need to compare myself to other people. And here's the thing that I realized: some of these people don't have kids. I got 2 children. I know Tara's got, I don't remember how many kids you have, Tara, but I know she's got a couple of kids. And what I realized is their life and my life can't possibly be the same thing, because our home environment is very different. The things that we've gone through recently are very different. So how am I to compare myself to other people? I don't want to be somebody else. I don't want to live somebody else's life. I really do want to travel again. I mean, I haven't traveled since 2015, but it was all work. It was all business related. And for pleasure, probably 2014. And I was the type of person that took at least 3 to 4 vacations, and they weren't necessarily all a week at a time. They might've been 3 or 4 days at a time. But I was the type of person who traveled 3 to 4 times a year at minimum. And I love traveling, and I love seeing, other parts of the country. I haven't been to too many places outside of like the Caribbean, Canada, Mexico. I haven't been to, England or Ireland or Bali or different places like that. They're on my bucket list. I want to go to Greece. There's lots of places that I want to go to. So I started comparing myself. So I had to learn how to stop that on my own, because it doesn't feel good. That's another reason why I laid low. The next reason why I laid low is because I actually took a new position. I got a job, and there's going to be some people like, oh, you got a job. Oh my God. The job, the 9 to 5 sucks. Why would anybody want to get a job? Well, here's the thing. It sucks only if you aren't passionate about what you're doing. And it sucks if you decide to look at it as sucking. And being an entrepreneur can suck too at times because you're alone. Unless you've got a company similar to the one that I had before, where you're surrounded by lots of people. If you're a coach, if you're a consultant, or if you're a public speaker, if you're in network marketing, or if you are a blogger, if you're somebody in those arenas, you're doing a lot of stuff by yourself. And as much as I have that underlying introvert nature, I also have that social nature. So I need a good balance of both. So a friend of mine, Sonia, who I'm sure she's probably not watching, but maybe she'll watch later. But Sonia is somebody that used to work for me when I had my previous business. And we're friends here on Facebook, and we try to get together a couple times a year. And we got together several months ago, and she said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Well, what do you mean, what am I doing?" She goes, "What are you doing? Like work-wise, like doing, like job-wise, like business-wise, what are you doing?" I'm like, well, I'm speaking. I would speak all the time. I would speak every day and educate people. And I don't even need to make millions of dollars doing it. I'd be happy with high five figures doing it. I'm like, I'd be happy as a pig in mud, but I don't want to have to fly all over the world or all over the United States doing it. I could just do it up and down the East Coast where I can go back and, take a flight out, do the speech, come back the same day or, for early the next thing. I would do that all day long, every day. So I'm doing some of the employee development stuff, going into companies and doing some training, and that's okay. I like it. I don't love it, but I like it. And she said, "Why don't you get back into the senior care industry?" And I said, "Well, I do love it." I was like, I'm really passionate about our aging adults. And I know Kristen's on here, and, Kristen and I originally met, through when I had my previous business. And, so Sonia said to me that day, she said, there's nobody I've come across who's had more passion about advocating for our aging adults than you. And if you look at my LinkedIn profile and you go to the top, you'll see several videos. If we're not connected on LinkedIn, or maybe we are and you've never looked at my profile, you'll see that I was a media maven. I went after the networks to get placement, and Lara helped me get one of the interviews, who's another one of my friends here on Facebook. But I was somebody who used my voice to advocate for our aging adults, either on local TV out of Philadelphia, but all the major television networks, and even did a Skype with Headline News CNN one time. And I looked at Sonia, I said, that would be really cool, but what am I going to do? So long story short, she says, "Why don't you call Steve Abate?" Now, Steve and I are also friends on here. We've been friends, and I've known Steve for years and years and years and years now. He used to come into my home care business, when I owned it, and talk about his company and his products and what he had to offer. And, hey, let me know if you think they'd be a fit for what you're doing. So long story short, Steve and I decide to meet at Miller's Ale House, right off of Route 73 in Mount Laurel, one evening. And I sit down with him. He's the executive vice president for the healthcare division for the company. And Jim Riley, who is another one of the vice presidents for our telehealth products. So we sit down and we start talking, and, he's like, "Well, what are you looking for?" I'm like, "I don't know." He's like, "Well, I need you." And I was like, "Okay, well, talk to me. What do you need?" So I am happy to announce that I took a position over a month ago with a company called Connect America. And it's really kind of cool because things have kind of come like full circle. I was in hospice prior to opening up my own home care agency, and both of those fields are heavily, heavily saturated. Lots of competition. There's like 40 of them on every corner, and some areas, some cities and some states have an exorbitant amount of competition, like just off the chart ridiculous. So Connect America does personal emergency response systems, medication management devices, and telehealth. So people are like, personal emergency response systems, what the heck is that? What's the, if you think of the help I've fallen and I can't get up type of product, it's similar to that, yet so much more. I thought it was a commodity item and realized it is definitely not a commodity item. So I have the entire state of New Jersey as well as part of New York, the 5 boroughs of New York. And I am going out, getting to reconnect with people that are in the industry, some of which I'm friends with here on Facebook. I, have the private duty home care agencies, which is the business that I came from, that I absolutely love. Hospitals, the visiting nurse associations, and other skilled home health agencies that are in the state, as well as subacute rehabs, elder law attorneys. I mean, you name it. I'm getting to reconnect with so many different people locally, and then even going up, obviously, into the northern part of the state. So that's one of the reasons why I've been kind of laying low, because I've shifted my energy to go into that space to really put everything that I have behind, rebuilding and rebranding me in that. So I probably will do some Facebook Lives in the future with some folks to educate everybody. The Connect America is a national company, although, like I said, I'm here in New Jersey and cover that area. So. Phew, God, that's a lot. I don't even know how long I've been talking. This is probably one of the longest Facebook Lives I've done, and y'all are so kind to still be hanging on. And yes, I said y'all. But anyway, so the advice that I wanted to give, and some of the tips that I wanted to give today, was I've seen a lot of people knock other individuals for, giving up on entrepreneurship, throwing in the towel. Oh, well, if you fail, get up and try again. And although I agree with some of that, I will also tell you that there's no one way or right way to build a business. And I will continue to do my public speaking. I will continue to use my voice. I will be on stages. I will create my own stages. And I will advocate for our aging adults with my position at Connect America. For sure, absolutely, indeed. There's no doubt about that. The other thing I might do is I'm keeping my options open for other revenue streams. And again, I'm not looking for people to reach out to me, to send me a private message, to say, hey, I have this new opportunity with this company. Will you watch my video? Will you listen to this call? Not interested in that right now. If I'm going to make a move in that direction, it is going to be at a very, very high level. And I'm going to have to do some serious soul searching to determine if that's the way that I want to go and need to go, and B, is it the right product and or company that I want to be a part of? Because I want something that I'm passionate about. I don't want something that, is just kind of okay. And who knows, maybe there's something that I end up creating. Maybe there's an app that I create that helps, folks in the, health and fitness with the emotional side, or maybe it's something with the seniors. But what I want to tell you is there's no one way to get things done. And I don't ever want any of you to allow anybody to get inside your head and take up space without paying rent and tell you that your decisions are wrong, or, stick it out a little bit longer. And if you're somebody who is considering hiring a coach, and you've got a coach that's telling you to open up a credit card, take out a home equity line of credit, borrow the money from a family member or a friend, then I would say that coach is not the right person for you, because you should not sit there and have to take on more debt in order to make yourself grow and move forward to be successful. Find another way to generate that money, sell some things in your house, sell some jewelry, drive for Uber or Lyft, take a part-time job, do something to generate that income, so then you can hire the person if you don't have it. Don't believe when anybody tells you to create more debt in order to move forward, because I've done that myself in the past, and it doesn't necessarily work. Sometimes it does, but in a lot of cases it doesn't. So stay true to you. Do what feels right for you. Know that any given moment you can change something. And I'm the type of person that I like to go from 0 to 100 miles an hour, and I forget that I can set the cruise control at 45 or 50 or 55 and enjoy the scenery along the way. I also was beating myself up because I didn't think that I was moving forward, or I hadn't thought that I had moved forward since, last year or 2 years ago. And then I look back at my life and I'm like, no, look at what you've created. Look at what you've manifested. Look at what you've been able to accomplish. Today is not the same as yesterday, which is not the same as May of last year, which is not the same as May of 2015 or 2014 or 2013 or, continuing going back. So go easy on yourself, give yourself a break, kick yourself in the ass when you need it, and have fun. Life's entirely too short. We're all here on borrowed time. Tomorrow could be any one of our, days to exit this world. And what kind of legacy have you left behind? It's more important to live happy and impact others and put a smile on their face than it is to put money in your pocket. Money's good. I like money. I love money. Don't get me wrong. Money's a tool that allows us to do things. But if money's your be all and end all, chances are you're not going to be happy, and you sure as heck aren't going to be you're not going to make other people happy. So I'm going to sign off for today. I will go back and look at the comments after my call, and I will reply to each and every one of you. I want to thank everybody for joining me. I appreciate it. And hey, if you've got any, if you've got something you've got going on and you need a little nudge or you want to chat, again, I'm pretty open, and I'm here. I'm here to serve. So have an awesome weekend. Happy Memorial Day. And thanks again. Bye.